Warning, this show contains the opinions of idiots. Listener discretion is advised.
Greetings, my friend.
Goodbye, honey.
Okay. Where's your safety gear?
Mommy, I'm cold.
I said put on your safety gear.
Silence, both of you.
The result will astound those watching.
Because all you of Earth are idiots.
You think we're doing something wrong? Science fiction.
Who'll share man's greatest thrill?
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff of
Monochrome-1.
Shall we talk now or wait?
Proceed.
Okay. Hello, this is Monochrome-1, the show transmitted from outer space right to your home. My name is DL Drew, and with me today is...
Me?
Yes.
Me? Oh, I'm Matthew Hutton. Hello.
Hello. Just two guys, just here to, shoot the...
Space breeze.
Yes, exactly. I don't want to edit out too much swearing, so I'm going to be careful of what I say. Alright, for those of you who may have listened to our first episode, way back when, I should probably just give a little bit of an explanation of what happened. Episode 1, the feedback from episode 1 was really cool. We got a decent amount of listeners, especially since we were just starting off on an obscure little show that came from nowhere. I was very pleased with the feedback. People who listened to us thought it was kind of cool the way we interacted and quite liked the episode. But, that was great. It was a little unpolished, being a pilot, just sort of trying to feel our way around a bit.
Yeah, everyone who heard it liked it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was nice.
No, that was really cool. But problems came in episode 2. Because pilot was great, but then in episode 2, I was sort of under the impression that, okay, now I have to make everything strictly structured from now on. We had our free-flowing fun, and now we're gonna, get right into it, get all this focused and done, and, things just kind of fell apart a bit, to be honest. Honestly, I'm not going to talk too much about it. Basically, I don't think I was in the right mindset. We had a bit of a... Sorry?
I liked it.
From what I recorded, I thought it was quite good, but
yeah.
I don't think I was in the right mindset. Our schedules were clashing a little bit. We couldn't really get together to record a full show at once. We ended up recording things in segments, so there was a bit of a discord, and either way, it didn't turn out very well, which is why none of you out there have heard it yet, or probably ever will. I mean, we did...
it was good. Some of the stuff we said you will never hear anywhere, ever.
Okay, we did mention some points, and as I said, there is stuff that we liked in the recording, so at some point I may bring up some of that again, and for all intents
DVD extras.
For all intents and purposes, this show is kind of like Pilot 2. This is a relaunch where we're just going to try something new and brand new energy and drive, and come on, let's just get this going.
So send all of your money to Matthew Hutt. No. Anyway, let's
Not
go.
Not all of it, I need some too.
Yeah, I'll give you 10 pence.
I suppose that could pay for a bag of Space Raiders. Oh wait, no it wouldn't.
Not anymore.
Because Space Raiders are now 20p. Half a bag then.
Do you remember those, are those the crisps?
Yeah, they got kind of the grey alien kind of shape.
Yeah, I remember the other ones that were X's, noughts and crosses or something. They were 5 pence, 15 pence, 35 pence. I think they're £1 now. Yes, I'm Northern.
Yeah, well, we're both Northern technically. We're just not very good Northerners.
No,
we're
very Northern. You could say we're in space.
Oh, the northest North there is.
Yeah.
But, we don't like football, we don't like lager, we don't beat our wives. Yeah, sorry everyone, that's just a negative stereotype.
They from the north sucks, donkey balls. I mean, no, they're lovely. They're lovely.
In the same way that Bill Hicks was from the south, so he's allowed to make fun of southerners. We're from the north, we're totally within our rights to pick apart our own people.
Yeah, we love it really. And if anybody picked on, when I was down London, I remember for that convention, I'm sure we'll probably get on to, you become hyper northern when you're in the south. Yeah, I remember at this point, I was in a crowd. I think I've mentioned this to you before, but nobody could move and I'm stuck there. And immediately, and you may have to edit out some swearing here because I was hyper north. Anyone around you, and you're going, fucking hell, why does nobody move? And it's well, nobody can move. That's why nobody moves. I mean, but you still do it.
No, it's kind of funny you said that because, as you probably remember, I lived in Scotland for over a year.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of weird because there's the whole thing going on at the moment about the Scottish independence vote, which ultimately they voted to stay in the Union, the majority did.
Oh, is that? I haven't actually seen the news yet.
Oh, no, it's just really broken out just now at the time of recording this. I've just been reading a bit about it. But I remember living up in Scotland and talking to people there about, well, everything, including people talking about independence back then. And as you say, like, when you're in a different place with different kinds of people, your local traits tend to accentuate a little bit. And I was like, aye, man, tell you what, I think we should get fucking independent too. Northumberland County, just like in the old days. That kind of thing.
You know what? I will have a pint. Get the football on. Where's my wife?
Come here.
Sorry.
But no, seriously, like, our friend Sophie as well, who I lived with, she noticed the same thing in herself and me. It's strange, because while we're here, well, whenever we are in, around our hometowns, on the rare occasion we come back to the planet, we just talk like we do now, kind of almost without any identifiable accent, to be honest, except that we're English.
It's difficult. I'm actually, at the moment, I'm seeing somebody who's a linguist. Apparently, when I go into Geordieisms, it's hysterical. So, there we go.
That reminds me of a bit from 7 Years in Tibet, which I recently reread. It's a great book. But he says when you would talk to, like, Tibetans in Lhasa, which is the capital, quite often they'd sort of snigger at him, and the reason was the Tibetan he learned while travelling was the sort of country bumpkin style.
Oh, dear.
So people in the capital city, it just kind of sounds really amusing. So it's probably a situation with you and your lady friend.
Yeah.
Speaking of lady friends, I've just deleted my Plenty of Fish account.
Actually, I have two. I had to, though.
Yeah, but you like deleted yours for a good reason, like found someone anyway, nothing to do with the site,
Yeah.
I did it just out of this, I've been on this a year now, it's going nowhere.
Game over, man.
Game over. I mean, I know that sounds kind of pathetic, especially if I'm saying it out loud to all yous there, but
Oh, yeah.
it just wasn't my kind of thing, and a lot of the people there, even just judging by their profiles, weren't my kind of people necessarily, and I thought, let's just not bother with this anymore, start meeting people in the real world again.
Yeah, well, you can get too wrapped up in the internet or all that
Yeah, I
bollocks,
mean, we're obviously talking over the internet right now, but it's really funny how it kind of has taken over the lives of everyone, essentially, because we're of a generation where, we did grow up with the internet, but at the same time, we remember the age without it.
Yeah, no, I was on about that with my dad quite recently, saying I remember the old printers that took half an hour to do anything, and having to plug in your computer at the wall if you wanted to go online.
Yeah.
For 5 minutes.
I mean, I also remember sort of staying with my nan when I was younger, her and her husband, and this was before I went to my first Doctor Who convention in Longley, the big one. I don't know if it still runs, actually. It's been so long ago, but it was like the big one for decades, and I remember going online to check prices of something like that. Okay, 5 minutes, you're done. Why? Because it costs a lot of money just to go online.
Yeah,
and,
I remember that, yeah.
Now, forget about dial-up, we've all got sort of broadband now, and all these other alternatives. It's just strange, though, because it makes you feel like such a crotchety old man talking about kids these days, but it really is like that, because although we're not old people ourselves exactly, we are from that distant age before all this connectivity and all this access, so it's kind of interesting. We grew up during the main transition, so we can see it from both sides.
Yeah, I mean, the world's a lot smaller now because of it.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways it's a good thing, in some ways perhaps not, but it's here anyway, and, we can't talk too badly about it. We both use it very heavily, not just personally, but you yourself, if you want to talk about what you do, you also have your own separate radio shows.
Yeah, I'm actually, I got a message back off Real Punk Radio. I don't mind naming them, of course.
Yeah?
Real Punk Radio and Comedy Pipe, both American radio stations in which they might syndicate my show. So I'll be on 3. That would be kind of awesome, yeah.
That's the thing, if anyone listening out here has any suggestions or knows of a place to go to, feel free to message, because, I'll make no pretensions that this is a great show exactly. We're just practically starting again, and there's a lot of shows out there, but still want to try and get our voices out there, at least just to get involved. And
oh, of course, if you've got any say, I don't know if you want to give your own email address. I always take emails at hfm.matthew@live.com, so any suggestions would be great. and if Drew gives his.
We'll probably just use yours because my email's kind of one of those where you can probably get a bit too much personal information just out the name itself.
Alright.
That's kind of why I use it just for...
Well, this one's my radio one.
Yeah, like, I don't have a separate radio one yet. I will get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stay away from my personal email. I'm sure you'll keep me clued in unless you're planning on deceiving me and stab me in the back and stealing my space station away from me.
Hell yeah. I know they did a Captain Hero impression, but anyone listening probably wouldn't get the reference, and if they did, they wouldn't like it.
Why did you program me to feel pain?
I'm gonna backstab that pig. I love Drawn Together. It's not well enough known, sadly.
Well, a lot of things got the same thing. I mean, I know people who've seen the Sarah Silverman program, which is like something else I really like.
Oh, I love that, yeah.
To the point where I got the entire series imported from America because you can't get the whole thing here for some insane reason.
Oh, it's bizarre.
And when I say here, I mean, you know, on Earth in the UK.
Yeah.
What was your recent purchase again? You got to do something similar.
Oh, God, that was Penn and Teller's bullshit. Well, Penn and Teller's BS, as the censored version of the box comes, but mine had the actual words written out, which I thought was really nice. Mine was Series 5, so any fans out there might know what I'm on about. Because apparently it's got some big cult appeal.
Oh, well, I used to watch it when they briefly showed it on, was it FX?
FX? Yeah, I loved that. That was a good site, actually.
Actually, there was a few things on FX I used to quite like watching. It's just, it's kind of changed a bit since then. It's dropped some of the stuff, and it's now called Fox.
Yeah.
Which I think it was always Fox, but...
They abbreviated it because it's a lot quicker.
Yeah, because, you know, all the cool things are missing letters and are barely pronounceable, like the Sci-Fi Network.
Oh, jeez, I know. I used to love the Sci-Fi Channel. I rarely watch it now.
I'm trying to think, when was the last time I watched it? I recorded Sharknado 2.
Oh, cool. I've seen the first one.
I've seen bits of the first one, but I recorded the second one. I've not watched it yet. I've seen other stuff they've shown on Sci-Fi Channel, like some of the Asylum films, like Titanic 2, which absolutely sucks.
Yeah.
Because it's one of their mockbusters, but it's not like one of their fun mockbusters. They actually try to make it serious. So it's just kind of a really dull film. And this was just after watching, I think it was called Miami Shark Attack, you know, bikini babes and crappy looking sharks. That was just awesome.
I actually got, this is off Sophie, it was Giant Octopus versus Mega Shark, in which the Mega Shark jumps from the sea and takes down a, oh god, it's a Concorde flight. It's so good.
I've seen bits of that series.
Oh, I'll have to lend you it.
Yeah, Sci-Fi Channel, like, that's something else I used to watch on and off, and...
Oh, and the main reason I used to watch Sci-Fi was midnight every Saturday. If anyone out there remembers, Mystery Science Theater 3000.
I was just about to say, my earliest memory of MST was probably on the Sci-Fi Channel, just watching it randomly one day.
Love it. And it's never been repeated since.
Which is weird, because obviously I'm a big fan of the show now, and I have been for a few years, but there was a bit of a gap between when I first saw it and when I started getting into it, partly thanks to the internet access, to be honest.
Yeah.
Its availability on YouTube and, you know, other sites. For years, as I was growing up, I just had this vague recollection of this really weird show where these robots were watching a movie. And I could never place it exactly it was. Until 2 years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, when, oh, that's what that was. Since then, I've become, like, a big fan.
Oh, yeah. We used to tape them and all sorts. I don't know how legal that is, but I mean, my dad loved it. Actually, it's legal. They say at the end of every show, keep circulating the tape.
Yeah, I mean, even if that wasn't the case, the whole legality thing about what you can record from TV is a bit mad, because why make video recorders
with a record function?
Yeah, you know, like back in the day, why did they make VCR recorders if you had to technically get permission to record certain shows?
Yeah.
Back in the good old days of UK Gold, when they used to show Blake Seven and Doctor Who on a Sunday morning.
I miss
And I am talking not modern Doctor Who, I'm talking classic 1963 to 89 Doctor Who.
In order, sometimes.
Oh, it was generally in order, yes, because you used to watch one story one Sunday, then the next Sunday would be the one following. It was
brilliant.
It was brilliant, but a good chunk of my viewing as a child is just going over those recorded tapes.
Yeah.
From way back then. Like, that was a sort of primary Doctor Who feed, because again, we're the funny age where we're between times. We grew up just after the classic series had finished. And before the new series.
Well, it ended at 88, which was my birth year.
89, wasn't it?
Survive. Yeah, no, you're right. 89. Yeah. So I just caught. Well, if I watched it at the age of 0,
Yeah.
I would have just caught it.
I can roughly remember when I probably watched Doctor Who the first time, and it would have been probably 92 or 93. I have my dad to thank for getting me hooked on that show.
Oh, same. My dad, at the age of, again, it must have been 2 or 3, 92 or 93, put on The Green Death, and I still remember it. That was the first time I ever watched Doctor Who. Loved it.
I cannot tell you what the first one I saw was, but some of my earliest memories of Who are probably Destiny of the Daleks, which at the time I thought was great, but I was 5 and I had an underdeveloped brain.
No, same. I loved that up until I hit the teens, and I still kind of like it. Even, it's kind of camp.
I like it in the same way I like flawed films.
Yeah, it was just nice to see good Daleks, well, good-ish Daleks, and Davros.
Yeah.
Even though it's probably the worst Davros since, well, actually the worst Davros.
Yeah, because even I'm not a big fan of the modern Doctor Who series, but I quite like the portrayal of Davros in that.
Yeah, I'm not even getting into what was wrong with that episode, but he as Davros was okay.
Oh no, the actor they got in it, who was one of their common monster actors, he did fine.
He did great. Yeah.
He looked good.
He was quite menacing. It was nice for some reason that he had his body back. I'll let them go.
Yeah, that conversation about Davros could last a while, but
yeah,
as I said, I remember Destiny of the Daleks. I remember
Genesis was one of my first.
It's that thing. I don't think I actually saw Genesis until after Destiny, because I remember as a kid looking in. Remember how old VHS tapes they used to have the sort of previews on the inner sleeves?
Yeah.
Other tapes available. I remember as a kid looking at Day of the Dalek video.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And the Genesis of the Daleks video and just really wanting them, so I guess I probably didn't see them until a bit later on.
I'm sorry, but if anyone out there is in charge of making the DVD covers, look at the VHS covers. That's what you're doing wrong, okay?
I know.
The VHS covers were a million times better.
I think that's just a complaint about a lot of DVD covers in general, because, again, Doctor Who, look at the old covers. Actual painted artwork specifically for that release.
Trout and Sprinkles were all there.
Oh, his beautiful droopy face.
Yeah. Oh, no, back to childhood, things like that was the first Doctor Who I ever watched, and you think, wow, The Green Death. If anyone's seen it, it's pretty grim. God, what would in 92, which must have been about when I seen it, I'd be 3, 4.
Probably about the same as me when I started watching it.
But you've got to take into consideration what my parents used to put on to put me to sleep before I was one was Halloween. So, The Green Death was quite tame. And I turned out okay. I only kill people when I'm bored.
I only kill them to fill that emptiness inside.
I'm so empty!
Obviously my parents didn't show me Halloween as a child. It's kind of funny though, because you ask people about their childhood movies, like what do you remember seeing as a kid? I think my primary memories are this weird Jack and the Beanstalk thing, which I still want to seek out, because it's so strange. I'm not even sure it actually existed, or I just dreamt it in a fever dream.
Oh, is this that Tom Thumb thing?
No, that was another thing which I wasn't sure was real, but turns out was. We actually did find it. Well, our friend Captain Steampunk found the trailer for that. But no, that was another one. It was like Jack and the Beanstalk, but it was real Jack, but animated cartoon world. It was like a kind of almost Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of thing, where they had some real actors, but a lot of sort of fake backgrounds, and I don't know why. That's one of those things that sort of burned in my brain, but yeah, that's one of my early films. Another one's Jurassic Park, of course.
That was the first film I ever went to see with my dad.
It might be the same for me. Oh, there's Toy Story.
I went to see that as well.
And then there's Alien 3.
Oh dear. I like Alien 3. It gets pooped on quite a lot.
I like it, but I probably like it because it was my first Alien film, and I have fond memories of watching it even as a kid, even though it did disturb me, and the whole chest burster and the dog and that upset me. And
well, have you seen the director's cut to that? I wager, if you're listening online, that you're geeky enough to have seen it, some of you. But have you seen it, actually, Drew?
I've not seen it, but I've heard of things that happened behind the scenes which were kind of amusing.
Well, it's not even a dog that had the chest burster and the other one. It was a dead bull.
Really?
Yeah, it's bizarre. The whole dog bit's cut out. There's a whole scene in which they trap the alien that's cut out. And I swear to God, the movie must have been another half an hour longer. Yeah, Paul McGann had a much bigger bit, which I liked, but the actual movie was crapper in that version. They should have kept McGann's bit in it.
Yeah.
And at the end, Ripley, spoiler alert, didn't have the chest burster come out. And you know how she grabs it and falls into the fire?
Mm-hmm. She
just falls into the fire. It's like, well, that's a bit crap.
Yeah, it's probably bad that you did see it happen, so at least you feel like her death's a bit more justified.
Yeah.
Until Alien Resurrection.
Well, no, that's the thing. Alien 3 gets pooed on, like we've said.
Yeah.
But it's still the third best.
Yeah, it is. And
it's definitely the third best, whereas best one is still quite ambiguous, especially amongst us two.
Your favourite's the first one, Alien.
Yeah.
My favourite's Aliens, the second one, and...
Most people would agree with you, though.
I don't know. I talked to a lot of people, and they still put the first one as the best, and I don't know if it's just the way we are with films. We both like horror and action. Yeah. You're probably slightly more on the horror scale, and I might be slightly more on the action scale, so maybe that's it.
It could be. I mean, the Queen Alien in it is fantastic.
Oh yeah, like I do love them both. And again, after watching Alien 3 from such a young age, okay, people now will say it was not a great film at all, but it's what got me interested in the whole Aliens universe. And from a kid, I was collecting action figures, micro machines. For some insane reason, when you were a kid back then, they'd make like toys out of R-rated and alien-rated movies.
Again, email me if I'm wrong, people out there. But I'm pretty sure the first movie to ever do that was Jaws. Was marketing a horror movie with toys. That's great.
It might have been. I said I don't know, but I remember I had my Alien action figures and micro machines. I had a Terminator.
I had a Terminator too, yeah.
It might have been the same as yours. You push down on the arm and the front of the body would flip off, showing like the skeleton robot underneath.
Yeah. Oh no, I had all of the Alien toys. I've still got like the Queen Alien and everything.
I used to have a massive amount of them, and then I got that age where I was like, okay, I'm going to get rid of my Star Wars stuff. I'm going to get rid of my Alien stuff.
Yeah.
Again, it's the typical story of, man, I should have kept and sold that, because...
Yeah.
Even though I grew up in a time where you had the newer Star Wars figures, the new Kenner ones in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like round about when Star Wars was re-released for the first time in 97. Even though you had those then, I did have a lot of the really old figures as well, just from car boot sales or stuff I picked up.
So did I, and I sold most of them because I used to live in a bookshop. I had everything like the AT-AT. That's what my family would just buy me. Not my immediate family, just around me. Like my uncle was a huge Star Wars fan. He'd give me all of his old toys. Now he was knocking on 40 then, so they were all originals. And the only one I have left now, this might impress some of you, is the incredibly rare Boba Fett, the Toy Fair exclusive. The only thing is I don't have the box, but I do have the rocket and the gun.
Oh.
So bow before me. But that's the only one I have.
Sorry.
That's right. I am God. No, but I'm actually looking at the moment at my reaction toy. They've re-released what they were going to release when Alien came out.
Yeah.
Off the back, and I think you told me this, off the back of the popularity of Star Wars figures. No, I think it's great. Like, oh, this is another sci-fi, so let's make a series of figures for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then they saw it, they recalled the hell out of them.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They also try to market Alien like a horror Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's what some of the buzz was going around, and I can very slightly see their point, because this is something you don't think about Star Wars, especially now with the bloody new recent films. But the first Star Wars is kind of unique, that it showed a sci-fi world which was kind of used up and ruined, and probably more like it would be in reality. You have trash and broken robots and things lying around. It wasn't all spick and spam like the Enterprise.
Yeah.
And Alien, in a way, was also kind of a continuation of that, because the crew of the spaceship are effectively just truckers.
Yeah.
Working for a shifty corporation.
There's steam blowing everywhere. They have to crawl through vents.
Yeah, there's pipes hanging out. It's not smoothed, bright walls, again, like the Enterprise.
Oh, no, I do like it. And that's not to say I don't like Aliens. I love Aliens. It's just, well, John Hurt's in the original as well. That helps.
Oh, yes. Another fella you saw recently.
Yeah, I got to see him in London when I went back to Earth. But it was one of those things that I was with Captain Steampunk.
Mm-hmm.
I never got a chance to actually meet and get his autograph. I later went on to buy his autograph.
Yeah.
Because we were late. he walked right up to us, and he will tell you this, Mr. Steampunk. And I didn't want to be one of those guys where you get your phone out and get a photo and slobber all over him, but I regret that I didn't.
That's it. I mean, okay, she's not exactly on John Hurt level of famous, but when I met Virginia Hay at the Newcastle convention earlier in the year, she was absolutely lovely. She just talked really friendly about the show. She liked my costume because she was Xanon Farscape, and I was dressed as her lover, so to say, in their series, Stark. And she was just like so delightful to talk to, but at the same time I kind of had that little jittery starstruckness. It wasn't only that I was nervous, I really like this person, I don't want to be one of those people that bother them.
Yeah, you run the risk, especially if you meet them in a convention, because they're expecting it.
Yeah.
So one wrong word and all of a sudden you're one of them.
As you know, we're also big fans of the Rocky series, especially the cheesier ones.
Oh yeah.
And met Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed as well, and he had
so jealous.
He had a lot more people around him. I was waiting in a queue for him for quite a bit, and his was more, oh hello, how are you? Shook your hand, signed the thing, goodbye, good day. That was it. And again, I didn't want to swamp him so much with questions because I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Also, considering one of the guys in front of me who we'd just spoken to was a fellow who seemed to bring a bag full of merchandise.
Oh.
And was probably standing there for about 10 minutes, paying out probably hundreds of pounds just to get him to sign every little thing he had.
So he paid for the ability to be that guy, and then all of a sudden, if you turned up, he'd have taken his frustration out on you. This guy's still buff. You know what I mean?
Oh no, Carl Weathers looks great. And when was the first Rocky again? I like the films, I'm not an expert on them.
It must be early 80s.
No, the first one I'm sure was late 70s. Oh no, Carl Weathers looks great, and I said he was a lot more brief with the meet and greet and the signing.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anything bad about that, it was just, he was a lot more busy, and again, I didn't want to be that guy, it was just sort of more professional and quick, and I'm cool with that.
You had more fun with Virginia though, because you had time to talk to her.
Oh no, and she was great, and probably one of the best, loveliest things I own is like the photograph I got her to sign. Well, it was one of the ones they had at the stand anyway. But it's like she wrote this like nice long little message just all around it, and then signed it, love and blessings, Zan. And that was just brilliant.
If anyone gets a chance to hear my other shows as well, she even did me a promo. That's how nice she was. So if you ever get to meet Virginia Hay, just say hello. Oh,
she's a wonderful, gold-hearted, beautiful woman, basically.
Oh, I don't know how old she is, but she looks better than I do. I'm mid-20s.
Again, we're talking about how long ago Rocky was. I mean, she was in, of course, one of the Mad Max as well, and, that was 80s.
She was the babe in Mad Max too. Oof. Sorry, Virginia, if you're listening.
We love you. I completely forgot what I was talking about. We're kind of going off on tangents again, a bit like the first episode, but I don't care.
No, I got to meet, you're just on about being that guy. When I was in London, I had to wait pretty much, because I went the 3 days, 2 hours beforehand to meet these people. And I was with Captain Steampunk, so I was drinking. That's not because I was with Captain. I was drinking because I had the drink. I thought, well, bugger it. 2 hours, I'm going to get
He's
drunk.
also a fellow who does he likes drink as well, and he often has some around him when we're there.
Yeah, and when I got inside, I got to meet various people, and I got to meet the woman who played Supergirl. She was wonderful. Jason Mewes, he was wonderful as well.
Awesome.
And and the one that I met that I really was excited to meet, except for Stanley, who I did meet, by the way, was what's her name? Summer Glau. It was my mission, and I was telling everybody, her lips will touch my face. And I must have said it so many times, and when I got to meet her, I froze. I was that guy. I kept shaking her hand, and her bouncer had to move me away.
Just subtly sterilise her palm after that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I noticed the guy in front of me shook her hand, so it was like, yeah, here we go.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
No, she was lovely, though, and I mean, she was like, oh, hi, how are you? And it was, I'm warm, was all I said.
I'm warm.
Oh, thank you.
I know it was in London. It's like, I'm fucking sweating me.
Yeah, that's right. You make me hands all clammy. Let's get married.
She's another one who I'd quite like to meet.
Oh, she was adorable. I wasn't really that guy. I mean, she had a bit of a giggle at my response to be honest. So, but when I got to meet Helen Slater was Supergirl. Again, I was a bit hammered, and she did me a promo. but she didn't know what to say, which is even better because I use her mistakes in the promo.
You used her flub.
Yeah, and like you're not supposed to take any pictures at all. They're really strict about it.
Mm-hmm.
But she jumped on me. It was like, yeah, she's lovely, like really nice. And the only reason that she did it was because Sophie, who we've mentioned before, is a huge fan. And I said, oh, my friend Sophie couldn't be here. She loves you. Could I get a picture with you? It would really annoy her. And she was like, yeah, definitely, sure. And Jason Mewes as well. You're not supposed to get pictures, but he just jumped over the table to get a picture with me and Captain Steampunk.
That's pretty cool. In high school, me and my friend Richard, who I used to hang around back then, were kind of into a lot of Kevin Smith films like Jay and Silent Bob, and I think they decided that I was Silent Bob, so that would have been pretty cool if I'd been...
Oh, there was a guy cosplay as Silent Bob who was spot on as well.
I am not surprised at all.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm not a huge fan of the Jay and Silent Bob stuff. I've seen Dogma and that sort of thing. The reason he jumped over, actually, he was really surprised to find somebody in England who had seen Todd in the Book of Pure Evil.
Oh, yeah.
He plays a janitor, yeah. And we even got to sing a rendition of one of his songs. It was horny. Well, sorry, I'm horny, and being horny makes me horny. Everyone around us just thought, oh, it's Jason Mewes, whatever. That's probably normal.
Again, he's one of those really sort of down-to-earth guys, by the sounds of it.
He's very tall when you meet him.
Oh, I imagine so. If I'm remembering right, yeah. So I watched Clerks not too long ago as well, so I kind of remember that.
I mean, I know we're in space and all that, but we do try to get to as many conventions as we can.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've noticed, guys, but we're geeks, you know.
Huh.
Speechless.
What do you mean? I'm a space jock?
Well, yeah, he's a space jock. I'm a space sexy geek. There's one coming up, actually, because we're coming to October now. We're not quite there yet.
Best month ever.
Oh, yeah, by far. Like I said, my parents played Halloween to put me asleep. I love the day as well as the movie, and I love the month in which the day falls in.
No, I'm not exaggerating here. Out of all the holidays we still celebrate, and the country we're from, and just as a culture in general, Halloween is without doubt the only one I genuinely look forward to.
Yeah, same.
I'm not much of a Christmas guy. I don't have an axe to grind against Christmas. It's just I just don't have as much of the spirit. You know, when it comes around, I do enjoy it, and it is nice to try and get involved with the whole tradition and stuff. But it's not something I'm really looking forward to. I'm not. Oh, I can't wait for Christmas. I really can't wait for Halloween every year, though.
Yeah, Christmas for me, and I do, like you say, I partake and I enjoy it. I really do. Is the lull after Halloween, though? So that's my come down.
Pretty much, because just the whole thing with Halloween, it's just such a unique holiday. A lot of the other ones,
so raw. It's still very close to its original traditions, and not that many people know what the original traditions are. Yet they still do some of the practices. And I mean, I could do an entire show on Halloween.
You wrote a quite good article for it for one of your newspapers, which I've read. And
yeah, I've written a few chapters for a Halloween book as well that my dad's doing. Also Matthew Hutton, so written by Matthew Hutton and Matthew Hutton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm not an expert, but I like Halloween.
No, I love it too. And again, it's not just that's a unique holiday. For me, it just seems to have more of a festival atmosphere to it, especially when you actually get involved with all the childish fun, like the decorating and the dressing up. It's just all really fun, and
some of the games as well. Everyone out there who likes Halloween should get a turnip, as well as pumpkins.
Oh, I'm getting a turnip this year.
Yeah, because that's what we used to use. Any sort of squash as well, but turnip mainly. And you've not enjoyed Halloween until you smell burning turnip. On Halloween.
You probably remember this because I have posted pictures of it on my personal Facebook. The past 2 years, I've left it too late to get a pumpkin or a turnip.
Yeah.
So I ended up carving out a Jacko apple, just an apple like a jack-o'-lantern, hollowing it out on the inside and using a tea light. And I've just kind of had that on my sideboard.
That's quite traditional as well, actually. They used to do that
do you
for
know what?
smaller lanterns.
It also gives off the wonderful smell of cooked apple, so...
Oh, yeah.
That's actually really cool.
There's a nice tradition that a lot of people have forgotten in which you suspend an apple from a ceiling. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of people play this game, but they never follow through with it. What you're supposed to do is if you get an apple with your teeth, you're supposed to slice it, peel it in one go. And if you
Alright.
do that, you peel it in one go and throw what you've peeled over your left shoulder, the next year will bring incredibly good fortune, as in money.
Yeah?
And that's where that originated, yeah. That was
Wow,
the original
I mean-
way to play that.
I do remember from being a kid and sort of seeing other things, I remember the whole suspended apples thing. I didn't realise there was all that to it as well.
Yeah. Another one is, I'll not go into it too much, but at midnight on Halloween night, you have to stare yourself in a reflection. You have to be alone, candlelight only. Look at your own reflection in a mirror, and you have to stare at yourself in the eyes, and you will see the devil.
I've heard that before. I've also heard the scientific explanation for it.
Yeah, that one's just to spook y'all, really, I think.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Anyway, this isn't a Halloween episode.
That's to come.
Yeah, that's to come. But I think what the point we were going to make, because we're talking about conventions, is that there is a horror convention day after Halloween
yeah.
on November the 1st, and it would be really cool to get over that.
Yeah, there's nobody that I'd like to see there, but I do conventions anyway, because I collect comics.
Oh no, there's always like props and stalls out.
Yeah.
And just the general atmosphere of having a group of people of shared interests is just really cool.
And it's the day after Halloween, so everybody's going to be in their costumes. It'll be great.
Oh, well, if I get mine finished, I'll definitely be in mine.
Well, yeah. What is yours?
I'm not gonna say.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, you'll probably guess this anyway. Put it this way: it's based on my favorite survival horror game series.
Hello Kitty Goes to New York.
Definitely. Yeah, again, I've been working on it a bit tonight. I've got bits of cardboard, scissors, and tape around my little studio right now.
Yeah.
So I'm working on it, and if I do get it finished in time for Halloween, that'll be great, and definitely want to use that for the convention the day after, because,
Yeah.
put it this way, and you yourself can attest to this, seeing other people dress as monsters from that particular series.
Yeah. And I hope there's more of them, because I know what you're going as, actually, don't I?
Yeah, you know.
I just asked for the audience. Hello, everybody. But, yeah, and I can't wait to see it personally, because this guy for Halloween, I usually do Michael Myers. This year I'm not.
Yeah.
Except on the day I might do it a little bit. Tradition, you know what I'm saying? But this guy, he's done Cybermen, and they've been spot on. Roman Soldier, yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say spot on with the Cyberman. It was a full-bodied costume, though, which is...
Oh, it was a good effort, man.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I managed to get like some of the basic things done.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you were saying, like Roman costume, I'm one of those guys who likes to do a different costume every year.
Oh, and Torgo was my favorite.
Torgo, yes, the best, most obscure costume ever. The one which, bar 4 people, no one that day knew who I was. I still have my Manos the Hand of Fate staff. It's just like standing in the corner behind the microphone right now. And I'll actually, the hat I was using as well from that costume, I'm using it in just a small side film project. It's nothing major. It's just going to be a small thing within the place I work at.
Oh, I love Halloween. But like you said, though, for conventions as well, I really do cosplays for them.
The last convention, I also had my own costume for that as well.
Oh, yes. What was that?
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I was basically male Wonder Woman.
Which was surprisingly more revealing than you might imagine, people. No.
I don't want to give you guys nightmares. I wasn't like that scantily clad.
He
But...
was wearing his bra, it's fine.
Oh yeah, it's just keeping the puppies inside. But yeah, I made the costume pretty much from scratch. Well, apart from buying actual clothes and just altering them. Bands, I had the headbands, I made the lasso of truth out of a curtain cord.
Oh, yeah, you strangled me with that.
Oh yeah, I did, and I dyed my hair black for the occasion as well, because I'm a natural blonde. But what's really funny, it wasn't just looking like a total tit for the whole of May the 3rd. It was also... Straight after that convention, we went to our friend Sophie's again for a party.
Oh, yeah.
A house party. So I didn't have enough time to go home, which means for the entire day, the evening, and the morning after, I was dressed as Wonder Woman.
It wasn't that bad, though.
Yeah,
It
but
looked
just
like you were dressed as a
just
woman,
the
though,
looks of people in the town the morning after, this really disheveled, tired-looking guy in a Wonder Woman outfit just sort of stumbling around the streets of the town.
You never got to see what I did. I mean, I got the story afterwards, but apparently you were up all night making this thing, putting the stars on your pants and stuff.
No, I did not.
So,
Between May the 2nd and 3rd, I did not sleep. I was up all night finishing that costume.
So you were pretty disheveled that day, and I'm waiting because it was Free Comic Day as well, everybody. So I'm waiting in a queue with Captain Steampunk again. And then who do we see running with his bag to accentuate himself, as it were, running? And I was the only one, ironically, to sing Wonder Woman as he was running.
Well, I got a salute from those guys in the bunny and dinosaur costumes.
Your face, very, very tired. That has haunted me.
Well, that's the thing, because I hadn't slept that night. It was an hour bus journey from where I was to the city, which means I did briefly fall unconscious on the bus, so I'm just imagining somewhere on the internet there's a photograph of an overweight guy dressed as Wonder Woman just unconscious, slumped across the front seat.
Some guy gets his butt out and gets a picture of himself with you.
Please don't.
That's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
You fell asleep on the bus.
I did. I didn't sleep last night. I was just exhausted. Oh yeah, we've got that one coming up.
You have to come to London.
Oh no, I fully intend to go to the next London one. It's just earlier this year. It was more of a money thing than anything else.
Yeah, it's hard getting down to earth though, man.
It's hard getting down to earth, and as well, like the shifts I work, they're not the biggest earners. Don't get me wrong. I do like my job. It's just I don't work the most hours, so sometimes things take a little bit of saving, and I just didn't have the money at the time to go to London, which is a shame, and I fully intend to go next time.
Yeah, it was the last time Stan Lee was coming to England.
Yeah.
I got to touch him.
Okay, people are going to pull out the pitchforks for this, especially if any of the geekier people are listening to the show. I don't care about Stan Lee at all.
Oh my god.
Don't interpret that as me hating on Stan Lee. I don't. It's just, I'm one of those freaks who reads DC more than I read Marvel, and I appreciate Stan Lee's place in comic history and, a brutal businessman, but, even if I was at London, he wouldn't be one of the people I was queuing to see.
Yeah, I would have been the same if Miles Miller was there or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And, William Russell was at the con as well, which I didn't even know he was going to be there.
No, neither did I. I was waiting in line for somebody else, and I saw him just sat there alone, and I ditched Captain Steampunk.
Oh, I would have.
William Russell.
Like, honestly, if I did know William Russell's there, maybe I would have tried a bit harder to save, because, as already said, long-time Doctor Who fan from the earliest age, and he's with, Barbara and Susan, the first companion.
Yeah. He's great. And he did me a promo as well. And, he's knocking on 90. He has to be.
I was saying he is knocking on a bit, but even not too long ago he recorded some commentaries for, extras, and he still seems quite decently lucid, and with it to a degree for a guy his age, and that's just really cool.
It's good. I just remember asking, would I be able to have a promo off you? And I don't think you knew quite what I was on about.
Yeah.
And I handed him my phone, which is all I had to record with, and he was like, "So I talk into this, do I?" It was like, "I love you so much."
Oh, he's fantastic.
I love that. But hear William Russell on my show, you're more than welcome. I still haven't finished doing those promos yet, actually.
Highly recommend Matt Hutton's shows, and I'll put some links in at the end of this, so you can all check it out.
The new show's called The Asylum, so expect everything, I guess. I mean, Drew here features in it quite heavily.
I'm the occasional guest voice actor, usually playing some loser guy or some inept alien.
That got a real positive response, and not to go on too long, but we did a B-movie parody, and the fan mail I got, they loved it. They actually felt bad for you. I think you were Drusicalanium.
Yeah.
And you get shotgunned off a farmhand.
Yeah, I also improvised my death cry as well, which you left in.
Yeah. That was it. But yeah, you got, why did you have to kill Drusicalanium? And they wrote it out. It was like, wow, I didn't even remember the name. God.
Oh, well, someone somewhere loves me.
Your best line in that was, because I remember writing it, was, what was it? You meet a bunch of cows, and it's, are they friendly? And your best line was, they don't kiss like they're friendly. I love that line.
Way back in our first pilot episode, all those months ago, we talked about upcoming releases. I checked out what was on IMDb, what was coming to us. I think we're going to do that again, since we're closer to the time, and October's coming up. We've got some horror movies coming out. Let's discuss new releases, and let's check out some trailers. For obvious copyright reasons, you won't hear any of it, so just bear with us for a second. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
The first movie that's coming up is Annabelle, the prequel, I believe, to The Conjuring. So let's check that out. First time both of us have seen the trailer for Annabelle.
I got Ouija board.
Oh! I guess to talk about Ouija board then.
Let me get this in straight away. Do the creators of this movie know that the Ouija board was a joke when it was invented?
I know a lot of horror movies are kind of cliche, but I've seen that Ouija board thing in about a dozen things.
The main chick in that, she looks dead familiar.
It's a good sign when it's by people who produced Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Insidious.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, I've not actually seen Insidious, so I can't judge. I know you don't have fond feelings for it.
Again, I think a mutual friend like that, who seems to like everything. Yeah.
But talk about the trailer itself. Obviously, you know, Ouija boards, the spooky, contacting with the spirits, you can invite unwanted things, that's the whole fear about them.
Yeah.
So much so that when I was a kid I even made one, but never used it just out of the paranoia I had back then.
But no, it was originally invented as just a joke. Not like a pee-taking joke. God, who made it? It was the same people who made Monopoly and that.
Oh no, it was a board game, I do remember reading about that.
The film itself looks very bog standard. No offense to it, because I kind of like bog standard from time to time.
It kind of does, but if you were listening in over the airwaves while I was watching it, I kind of laughed at a few times at just the kind of cartoony violence. The guy smashing his face in the mirror.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I know part of what we want to do for Halloween is to watch horror films, but a bit like the movie nights we used to go to sometimes, now they show a lot of new films, whereas if I want to have fun and celebrate horror on Halloween, I kind of like to watch classics. Kind of want to know what I'm getting into.
Pretty much jump scare over and over again.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're probably going to be repeating that point over the next few trailers I'm showing. So, that was Annabelle.
The same, again, as the other one, really.
I mean, he's quite a well-renowned director, James Wan. I haven't seen a lot of his films. I think he did Insidious as well, actually, so...
It looked like the same film, only with a doll.
That's the thing,
You've got a Ouija board, or a doll. It's a gimmick rather than a story. It's
by the same director as The Conjuring again, in a prequel by the looks of it.
Well, it said before, didn't it? Before The Conjuring was Annabelle.
It's kind of contradicting The Conjuring. Beginning of that, it talks about the story of Annabelle with the people in that apartment. The idea was it was just a doll, but then accidentally invited a demon into the doll, and that's where the trouble comes from. Which has nothing to do with what we saw in that trailer.
Like, just to break it down, because I did media, for those of you who don't know, so I will analyse things. There was a really nice scene in it that I think would be good for a jump scare, and it's, you know, the bit where the doors, if you haven't seen it, watch the trailer, but there's a bit where the door's slowly closing.
That was cool.
And and the thing runs at her and just slams the door open.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine yourself in that situation, this thing's running at you, you don't know what it is. That in itself is it's creepy, it's nice.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, I mean, the prams rolling in front of a truck, I've never seen that anywhere before.
Is it bad I thought of Charmed when I saw that? Because
oh yeah,
that happened on an episode of Charmed.
I immediately went back to, I can't remember who made this film, but it was a silent film in which a baby's falling down the stairs in its pram, going towards, it's either a busy road or some marching people or something. Dead famous, this mother's lost her pram and somebody's running down these stairs to catch it. Silent era thing. That's what reminded me of. It's like, you're really harkening back to that far, you know what I mean? Both of these, because the other one was Ouija board, I'm not saying they're bad, they're just not amazing. I like horror as a genre, so I'll probably watch them at some point, but I'll not go on my way. What pees me off, though, is that The Warren is a real case, and they're making a prequel from a real case, so they're outright just fabricating this nonsense. Somebody who knows the whole Warren situation, which is a book I had review, actually, the history of that.
Yeah, I remember that.
I have quite a broad knowledge on that case. Don't watch it if you're into that. Otherwise, it's just a horror film. Just shut up and enjoy it.
Dracula Untold. So, that's just destroyed all hope I had for that film.
Fucking hell. So, knights and vampires, then. Great.
You see, I remember having this conversation with you back in episode 1 when I saw the idea that Dracula or Vlad the Impaler, combining the two, He is not Vlad.
No, not at all.
This man doing monstrous things to his own people to terrify his enemies and subjects alike, which is, if you know even the slightest bit about the historical Vlad, he was a monster.
Yeah.
There is none of that.
He's a good guy in this, really, isn't he?
I'm not being down on just the film because it's new and modern. I'm not one of those people who wants to be down on everything, but did have at least an intrigue and like an interest in that way back then. But he's turned to the dark side. He's gotten these powers to protect his family and people because he's a good guy. What's wrong with just making a film about a villain?
Like an out and out villain, yeah. Justify the horrible things he does if you want.
Yeah.
A little bit, but make him horrible. Made him look like a hero.
Why even justify it?
Yeah. Right, you want to do a prequel to a classic novel, do it right at least.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, that one's the worst of the three.
There is one more. Have you ever heard of the film The Town That Dreaded Sundown?
I think so.
Well, apparently here's a remake. Or a sequel, I'm not sure, but here's 2014's The Town That Dreaded Sundown. You know what? I think that might be okay.
It was a bit better, but I've got a thing for films with guys in masks chasing people, I guess.
Serial killer angle, which I argue with this with a lot of horror. Like, there's a reason why I don't find certain things scary, but I find other things scary, and that's things kind of set more in reality, which could happen. I think
it's scary,
is scary. Like,
plus it's kind of small town America, which is a really good scene for horror film.
Serial killers, and okay, I know this is an extreme example. It's also true. I find the idea of nuclear war happening. It could do. We live in a scary world. I find that terrifying because that's something else, which is an extreme circumstance, but could feasibly happen within reality. Yeah, okay, let's not depress ourselves too much right now. Serial killers, or even the idea that you yourself might go insane, like that sort of psychological horror, those kind of things are, I find, more tangible.
Yeah, because it's, for all intents and purposes, a masked man. You put a mask on, you're suddenly a masked man. Who's not to say you're unhinged,
I don't know, it has potential for me. There was nothing in it that really turned me off.
True. I'll admit, though, with the other ones, I'm not massive into my ghost horror stories. I'm trying to think of one that I like, and apart from Amityville...
To be honest, I'm drawing a bit of a blank as well. There's a lot of horror films I like, which I don't find scary.
The Thing.
The Thing, Freddy, and the Jason series as well. The stories I find kind of chilling to do with ghosts, ones you'll read in a book every so often, or something that supposedly happened. Films, nothing really comes to mind. We did a quick rundown of some of the trailers. Uninteresting, really disappointing, and potential, at least that's how I see it.
I'd probably go to see that. Yeah, same, yeah.
But no, forgive us listeners for our disorganization, but we're sorry. I enjoyed my time tonight. I hope the listeners did too. Did you?
I loved it. It was better than that chocolate cat I ate.
Yeah.
I want to bring up a point. I had an idea for Dracula. No.
Dude, that was in episode 1. We still have it. You don't need to recite that. Then again, if Dracula Untold suddenly took that twist...
No, I can't get over how bad that was.
For all you listeners out there, if you kind of didn't like us, or you want to say something, or anything at all, I'd love to hear feedback from you. Send Matt Hutt an email, probably make some sort of comment system. You'll probably get the comments on Podomatic as well.
If you want the email address again, it's hfm.matthew@live.com.
Alright, that's cool. And so I enjoyed myself tonight anyway. Hoping to make this a regular thing, so I'll say my goodbye to now. This is DL Drew signing off from the space station this evening.
And this is Matt signing off from your space station this evening.
Good night, folks.
Good night.
Monochrome-1 is created using Audacity. The show is made for fun, not profit. Monochrome-1 is produced using some sound clips in the public domain found on archive.org. Visit archive.org to find a wide range of free media, including film, audio, and documents. To hear more of Matt Hutton, check out hfmhemel.com, as well as the dark recesses of the human psyche. To check out DLD's articles, visit marshallnews.co.uk in the reviews section. Monochrome-1 transmission can be found on podomatic.com and the Northern Collard YouTube channel, with more sites coming soon.